بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله الذي خلق السماوات والأرض وجعل الظلمات والنور، ثم الذين كفروا بربهم يعدلون. والصلاة والسلام على نبينا الكريم محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين، وبعد.
All praise is due to Allah, who has created the heavens and the earth, and made darknesses and light. Then they who disbelieve in what Allah created, ascribing partners to Him, did it knowingly. This is a Dawah by the Hour production.
Thursday night halaqah for November 1, 2007. An interview with a Jinn.
Getting deeper into that issue. Al-Imam Ibn Qayyim al-Jawziyah, you know Ibn al-Qayyim. One of his books is entitled Ar-Ruh, the spirit or the soul. And that book is an exciting one. Yet the great scholar said, you're not, sorry, excuse me. It's not necessary that you accept everything of it and take it for granted. Because part of that book is what he collected from the Athar and the old books, the people of the books. Of the section which we do not deny, we neither deny nor accept. And the Prophet ﷺ didn't prohibit us from narrating things which do not contradict the Quran or the Sunnah. Why am I saying this? Because this experience of that book, which was entitled An Interview with a Jinni Muslim, who is a great friend of the one who interviewed him, and which took place in front of one of the major sheikhs in Egypt. And the guy is well known as a Muslim journalist who behaves himself and respects his word. He's narrating his experience with that jinni who spent much time talking to him, and he asked him more than 100 questions about the life and the jinni's world. And the guy was so frank and open to him that 90% of his questions he answered in an amazing way, which gave people an indication. Yet I'm still saying we should not take everything like 100% for granted. He's a Muslim jinni from India who is a prince amongst the jinnis. And after his Islam, 10,000 of his bodyguards of jinnis adopted Islam. That's to give you an idea about that type of interview. I will not take it consequently, meaning because it's too long. But what is excellent about the book is the brother is always giving evidence and proof from the book and the Sunnah. And the authentic ones, Al-Bukhari and Muslim and As-Sahih, Al-Kutub Al-Sittah. And whatever he can't find a dalil for, he says it very clearly, that's what the jinni told me, and Allahu A'lam. The jinni was named Abdul Hakim after his Islam. Assalamu alaikum wa barakatuh. Oh, they sent you here to enjoy listening to, I know that policy. Allah musta'an. He wants to be closer. Maybe he would be, inshallah, one of the healers in the future, inshallah ta'ala. Okay. We started last session with about 5 or 6 pages, and I stopped at something a bit dramatic or exciting that I said we'll continue next time. طيب. I'll try to pick up some of the questions from the consequence. The brother here, I will not go through the dalail from Al-Kitab and Sunnah because it will take a very long time. But whoever would like to benefit from that, he can, inshallah, and he's good at Arabic language, he can, I can photocopy that book to him, which is not sold anymore here because it's out of print. I asked the Jinni Muslim, are you recording, guys? Allah musta'an. How old would the jinnis live? He said some of them for thousands of years. Some of us live up to 3,000 years. Others live for 4 or 5 or 6,000 years. But it is rare that someone lives up to 7,000 years. As for Iblis, he has been since Allah sent Adam down and he's alive. And he has his throne somewhere on earth, on the water, in an island. And his 5 kids, and he mentioned some names for the 5 kids of Iblis. The main 5 ones are still alive with him. I asked him, and how old are you? He paused for a while and he was staring at me because one of the things, strange things which happened is he saw him in his real shape. He was possessing one of his relatives before he became Muslim. And he stayed in him until, for those weeks until that was finished. So he stared in him as if he's seeing through my eyes into my depths, guessing, what do I mean? Who is trying to read something. And then I repeated the question, how old are you? He said, swear by Allah that you won't try to harm me or to hurt me. That's the jinni. I was surprised and shocked at this. I said, أقسم بالله العظيم لا أضرك. Why should I do that? He said, I'm still young. Compared to the human being, I'm like 15 or 17 with the human rate. He said, no, I want your real age. With the rate of the jinnis. He said 180. Which is, I'm in my adolescence. 180. He later explained to him that a baby jinni would nurse his mom for almost 40 or 50, up to 50 years. And he's still nursing. Most of the time, a baby jinni would be asleep, not active, a baby.
So 40 years?
Yeah. Taking the milk of his mom, and he said, milk, exactly like you, human beings, and sleeping. As for your dad, is he still alive? Because he talked about thousands of years. He said, no, he died in a battle. He was kafir, disbeliever, his dad, which took place between him and his right-hand helper, whose name was Hud. And he was 950 years when he passed away. As for my great-grandfather, he was up to the sky trying to pick up something from the angels. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent a shihab on him, which destroyed him. And he was thousands of years old when he died. I said, do you know exactly how old he was? He said, no. But he was mu'ammar, like those extremely old, very old. Down here, وَقَدْ أَخْرَجَ الْبُخَارِيُّ فِي صَحِيحِهِ. Everything is by evidence. This, yes, happens in the world of jinn according to what the Quran said or what the Prophet ﷺ said. All that is narrated here. طيب. Allah musta'an. In this new chapter of the book, I would bring some known information to the people of experience and knowledge. But still there are surprises and shocks for many people. Oh, this. Even in the American and Western world. And we might explain some of the phenomena that many people are bewildered when they think of. If we want to realize or picture or view that al-Jinn live in every spot of this earth, and to make it closer to the mind, I would say that man lives on the dry land only, right? Except when he travels, sails by boat or by plane. And the oceans and the seas cover most of our planet. More than 72%. Whereas the dry land is only 28% or even less. And experts are telling us that the water is taking more space every day because of the melting of the poles. Which made some experts to give our planet the title the water planet, because it is 70% of it is water. And not all the dry space left is inhabited by people. Lots of it is desert, as you all know, right? Subhanallah. They occupy less than 1/4 of that dry land left.
They mean us?
Yeah. No, the human beings.
Right.
Go to Egypt. In Egypt, we only live on the banks of the river
In Cairo.
Nile. La. Most of Cairo is what? Deserts and mountains. But we live on the river bank. Now, he moved from that to the world of the jinnis. He said, Al-Jinn has got their own cities, countries, and camps. Most of it is on the water, which we do not inhabit. On the surface of the water. Sulaiman used them to build him castles and palaces at the bottom and on the surface. And when Balqis came from Yemen and she got into one of the palaces of Sulaiman, she thought it was water, so she moved her dress a little bit not to get wet. So he smiled, laughed, and everybody in the company laughed and said, it's crystal. And that crystal was on the surface of the water. It was so clear that she thought she's getting into water. And that's in the Quran. Right? قال إنه صرح ممرد من قوارير. طيب. And he has got camps and cities at the depth of the sea. My body in scuba diving. Have you ever got that feeling when we were at 150 or 40 feet down and we were looking around us and not seeing my body, that there is something? I did. You were my body for many times, and Khalifa was my body